You already know the feeling. Not sadness, not loneliness exactly. Something more specific than that. The feeling of being in the middle of a conversation and realizing that what you're saying is not what you mean. That the words coming out of your mouth are correct, appropriate, completely fine, and completely not you. You've had this feeling more times than you've counted, in big rooms and small ones, with people you love and people you barely know. The location doesn't matter. The feeling is the same. The slight pressure of performing a version of yourself that fits the moment but doesn't quite fit you. You felt it in other places too. Laughing at the right moment, agreeing with something you didn't quite agree with, performing enthusiasm for something that left you cold. Not lying exactly, something subtler than lying. The version of yourself you send into the room while the real one waits somewhere else. You know the one that watches, the one that is always slightly behind glass. It has been behind glass for a long time, long enough that you've stopped noticing the temperature difference between the two sides. We are not going to tell you the glass wall is a problem. You already know it's there. You've known for a long time. What we're going to do is something more uncomfortable. We're going to ask why you keep it clean. Because the glass didn't appear. You didn't wake up one day and find yourself separated from everything. It was built carefully over a long time with very good reasons. And the reasons are the most important part, not the wall, the reasons. Because the reasons are the only things standing between you and what's on the other side. The thing you can't name. Part 1. The feeling. There is a specific moment most people have had and almost no one talks about. You're in a conversation. Could be anyone. A friend, a colleague, someone you've known for years. And somewhere in the middle of it, you notice something. Not what they're saying, the gap between what they're saying and what's actually happening. The way the words are filling the space without touching anything real. The way everyone in the room is performing a version of ease that no one actually feels. And you realize you have been doing it too. You have been doing it for so long, you forgot you were doing it. That moment of noticing, the specific vertigo of it, that is where you notice yourself. The feeling has a texture. It's not dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. It's closer to a frequency, something slightly off in a room that looks completely normal. You felt it when everyone was laughing and you were laughing too, and something in you was watching the laughing from a distance and thinking, is this it? Is this what this is supposed to feel like? You felt it scrolling, the specific blankness of consuming content that was designed to make you feel something and didn't. The 20 minutes you can't account for. The faint hunger afterward for something you can't name. The feeling doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means the system is working exactly as intended. You're just not the one who intended it. No one told you to act. Part 2. The theater. You learn very early that the world responds better to a certain version of you. Not the whole one, the edited one. The one that knows which parts to lead with and which parts to keep somewhere quieter. You didn't decide this consciously. You observed it. The way a scientist observes a system, except you are also the experiment. This response gets warmth. That one gets distance. This version of me fits here. That version doesn't. And slowly, without any single moment you could point to, the performance became the first thing you reach for. Not because you are false, because you are very good at reading a room. No one told you to act. You learned it. Watch how quickly that lands. Watch what happens in your chest when you really let it in. No one forced you into the performance. No one handed you a script. You wrote it yourself from observation, from the evidence of what worked and what didn't, from years of careful adjustment until the performance felt indistinguishable from the person. The theater didn't trap you, you built the stage, and then you chose not to leave it. The question is not whether the theater is real, it is. Every social structure is a theater. Every conversation has staging. This is not the problem. The problem is when you forget you're the one holding the script. When the performance becomes the only version of you that gets to show up. When the real one, the one that was there before you learned what the room wanted, starts waiting longer and longer between appearances. Until one day you realize you can't quite remember what it wanted. The moment you almost touched it. Part 3, the glass. There have been moments. You know which ones. The conversation that went somewhere real before one of you pulled it back. The person you met who seemed to see the version of you that doesn't usually get out. And you felt for a moment the glass thinning. The night something cracked open and you said something true and the room held it and you thought, this is what it's supposed to feel like. You remember the weight of those moments, not because they were dramatic, because they were different. The air was different. The silence between sentences was different. You were slightly more tired afterward in the way you're tired after something that cost something. These moments exist. They are not fantasies. They happen. And then something happened after them. You pulled back, not dramatically, not with a reason you could name, but something in you assessed the situation and decided, too much, too open, too exposed to whatever comes next when you let someone see the version that doesn't perform. So you made a small adjustment, changed the subject, softened the thing you said, added a joke to the edge of the honest moment to make it easier to step away from. And the other person adjusted too, because that's what people do. They follow the temperature of the room, and the room cooled, and the glass came back, and you told yourself it was the right call, and a part of you knew, not clearly, but enough, because the reasons were real, the reasons were reasonable, the reasons were always there when you needed them, and you needed them because you already knew what you were choosing. And you chose it anyway. This is the part no one wants to look at, not the wall, the maintenance. The glass doesn't stay clean on its own. It requires attention, a regular, quiet, almost unconscious effort to keep things at the right temperature, to stop conversations before they go too far, to redirect the ones that start moving towards something real, to perform just enough warmth that no one notices the distance. You are very good at this. You have been doing it for years. And here is what makes it complicated. The maintenance doesn't feel like maintenance. It feels like social intelligence. It feels like maturity. It feels like knowing when to push and when to hold back. It feels like the wisdom of someone who has learned how things work. Every time you cool a room that was starting to warm, you tell yourself you're being sensible, protecting the relationship, choosing the right moment. And every time there is a reason, a good one, a reasonable one, that's what the glass is made of. Reasonable reasons to stay exactly where you are. The feeling you had at the beginning, the one that said something is off, that wasn't a malfunction. That was the part of you that remembers what it felt like before the glass was there, before you learned what the room wanted, before the performance became the first thing you reached for, before the reasons became automatic. It's still there, underneath everything. The part that wanted to say the true thing, the part that leaned forward in the moment before you pulled back, the part that felt the warmth on the other side and knew it was real and stayed anyway, just a second longer than was safe. That part hasn't gone anywhere. It just waits in the space between what you almost said and what you actually said. It's been waiting there for a long time. It's still waiting now. The glass is not the problem. You're not incapable of connection. You've been choosing the distance. You've done it before. The moment that has started moving towards something real, the warmth on the other side of the glass that you could feel through it. You know what that costs. You know why you step back. The question is not whether you can do it. The question is whether you're going to keep the glass clean or let it get a little dirty. Not here, not now. Out there, in the next moment that starts moving towards something real. You've always known. You just kept the glass clean.